Welcome everyone to our webinar today, 5 ways to tell if your SEO is working. I'm Brandon Griffin, and I am excited to walk you through the steps that we have today to share with you in regards to how you can tell if your SEO is working. But before we dive in, let me give you a quick rundown of LOCALiQ. We help businesses improve their online presence through smart digital marketing strategies, and one of our specialties is SEO. In fact, we were recognized at the SEO at the UK Agency Awards as the SEO Agency of the Year. So, which means you can rest assured that you are in the good hands if you want to rank higher on search engines, or if you want to attract more visitors and ultimately drive more business, you're in really good hands with us. I'm going to action a quick survey just to see who we have on our call today. And thank you to those who have gone to the chat to introduce yourself. In just a second, you should see a poll. And I'm wondering, what's everyone's familiarity with SEO? And so if you could just take a moment and answer the questions that are on your screen now. You should see it on your screen and in your chat. Just answer those questions. I'm seeing some responses come through. Good deal. Awesome. Are you a beginner, intermediate level, or are you at an expert level when it comes to SEO? And just yes or no, does your business currently have an SEO strategy? All right, got a good number of responses. I'll leave it open for about 30 more seconds so everyone can get their responses in and find the poll in your chat or that has popped up on the screen. All right, cool. I'm going to close the poll and just share that with everyone. And so far we've got, okay, so let's see. Most people on today's call are beginners, but we've got about 63% of the individuals on our call today at the beginner level of SEO, not a problem. And then it's almost split in the middle. Both 42% of the people on the call, they do have an SEO strategy, and then about 47% answered no, that you don't have an SEO strategy. Not a problem. We've got you covered on today's call. In fact, today's session is just the first of several webinars that we're going to have where we help businesses learn a little bit more about SEO. And so I want to encourage you to, if you haven't done so already, to make sure you save your seat at our next 3 sessions. Many of you who are on today's call registered for all 4 sessions when you sign up for this one. So if you're one of those people, you don't have to do anything but show up on the day, and you should have already received your calendar invite. But if you haven't registered for the other sessions, I encourage you to do so. And one thing to note is that all of the sessions will be recorded and made available on demand, including today's webinar. So even if you can't make it, still register, and we'll be sure to send you the replay of those sessions in your inbox. So today we're going to cover the things that you can look at to make sure you know if your SEO is working or not. And later on in the month, we've got a session focused on Google AI overviews, how to get your business in the news. And then we're going to wrap up our series talking about, well, once you get started with SEO, what's the next thing that your business should probably look at doing? During today's webinar, here's a quick look at our agenda. Today, we've got about 4 parts. We're going to do a quick review of just the basics of SEO. A lot of people on today's call are at the beginner level, so I think that'll be very helpful. We'll get into how you can get a free SEO audit, and then I'll share with you 5 ways or 5 groups of metrics and different things that you can look at to tell if your SEO is working. Plus, I'll quickly go over ways to fix some of these problems and observations. Again, I'm Brandon Griffin. I'm Interim Marketing Director here at LOCALiQ, and I'll be your presenter for today's session. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, today's webinar is being recorded, and you'll receive the recording and the slides in your inbox within 24 hours. And so um, you can look for that. And then if you have any questions as I move through today's content, feel free to send your questions through. My colleagues are in the background, and they'll do their best to answer their questions. And if time permits, I'll answer a few questions live towards the end. So let's go into our quick review. Again, we have a lot of people who have different levels of understanding. So just to provide a quick review, the world of digital advertising is made up of a lot of different tactics and channels. One in particular is search engine marketing, or SEM. And search engine marketing breaks down into two categories. You have PPC on this right side, which is paid search results, and then you have SEO, search engine optimization, which helps you show up in the organic search rankings. And here's the landscape of a SERP, or also the search engine results page. So when you go into a search engine, most popular ones are Google and Bing, and you type in your keyword, results come up. And you'll probably notice towards the top of the results page, you'll see ads. You'll see results that show up that say ad. This is where this business has paid to show up here. Every time a potential customer clicks on this particular ad, that business will have to pay. And then as you scroll further down the page, you'll see some results that don't have advertisement or sponsored next to it. And these are the organic rankings. If an advertiser shows up here, it's because Google thinks that their website or their business meets the needs of that person that's searching. And if that person clicks and goes to the website, that business does not have to pay for that particular click. Okay, so that's what we call an organic search result. You see it in the text ads, and then you even see it when you're looking at the map sections as well. You'll see that there are some sponsored posts, and then there are some that don't have the sponsored or ad indication, and those are organic rankings, meaning the business is not paying for each time a person clicks on that particular showing. And then this is a really good visual to help illustrate how search engines work. You build your website, you put a lot of good content on it, and then Google has bots, or these computer type spiders that crawl your website to learn about the pages and the things that your website is talking about. It catalogs that information, and then as people go to the search engine to conduct their search, Google will show whichever page from your website best meets the need of the user that's searching at that particular time. And then the final basic thing I want to cover is just to make sure that everyone understands that SEO is typically broken into 4 pillars. You have on-page SEO, off-page SEO, technical, and then content. And so as I go through the tips today, I'm going to refer back to these pillars to help you know which pillar of SEO your business should probably focus on. Okay, so that's a basic review of SEO. And SEO is a topic that can go really deep, really quick. But if you want to learn more about the basics, we have an on-demand webinar available on our website that'll take you through all the fundamentals. And so when you receive today's slides, you'll be able to click through and watch this webinar, or you can go to our website and just look at our webinars section under resources, and you can access it from there as well. Most times when businesses call us and they aren't sure if their SEO is working or not, it's because they've searched for themselves on Google and they're probably not seeing their business at all, or maybe they scroll and they scroll and they scroll, and they may have 3 or 4 competitors showing above them. And then sometimes we get businesses that call us and say, well, I've hired someone to do my SEO, but I'm not sure what they're doing, or I've paid and they said that they're doing XYZ, but I never saw any results. So we get all those different types of scenarios, and chances are some of you on today's session are probably in one of those scenarios yourselves. Um, but there are many different scenarios, and I'm just going to let you in on a quick secret. You know, the best first step you can do. This is this is a secret for you. The best first step you and your business can do, if you're trying to figure out if your SEO is working or if it's not working, and it'll save you so much stress and a lot of time. Uh, and that secret is just to conduct an SEO audit. And you know, a lot of businesses don't even know that this is something that they can do, and that it's really quick to do, and it's free. In fact, I'll put the link in the chat, and if you go to it and send, let me put this in the chat. If you go to it and put your website in, it'll give you some results within like about 5 minutes to your inbox. And if you go and do that now, and then you come back to this webinar and you're looking at this webinar with your SEO audit, I guarantee you'll get even more value out of today's session. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do it. Great. I see a few people who are making their way to do that now. I see some coming through. So keep doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and get started on our first group of observations for time's sake while you do that. So the first way to tell if your SEO is working, that we're going to cover, is if you're seeing low rankings, poor click-through rates, or maybe even engagement rates. And if you observe this, you'll probably want to spend time on your on-page SEO strategy. Now, with on-page SEO, the goal is to just make sure your site is more relevant and user-friendly so that search engines can better understand your content. Um, Now, you would know that this was a problem because you would perform a search engine result page check. So just like a lot of the people who call us, they go to Google, they go to Bing, and they just start to search for themselves. And sometimes you'll see that either you're showing up really low or you don't show up at all. So that's a good way to check. Or you can just perform your SEO audit from LOCALiQ, or you can go to SEMrush or Ahrefs. They also provide some tools that will analyze for you your title tags, your meta descriptions, and keywords. And so this is a screenshot of our SEO audit report that we did for our website here at LOCALiQ. And thankfully, we got a A+ grade for our on-page SEO. And so when you do your report, you'll see where your grade is for your business. And you'll see that it's saying that our title tags are good, our meta description tags are good, and it's showing you what a user would see when they are searching for our products or services on um, on Google or Bing. So that's a good tool to use. You can also use Google Search Console and Google Analytics. Those are very popular tools that can help you in this space when you're doing it. And so I think between the LOCALiQ SEO audit, the Google Search Console, and the Google Analytics, those tools are going to be like your BFF all through this SEO journey, your best friend. All right. So how do you check, or how do you fix some of those problems that you'll probably see in this particular area of your SEO audit? For title tags, you'll want to make sure that your page has unique, keyword-rich titles. Those titles should be under 60 characters. The title of your page is what shows up on the search engine result page in this particular area. You'll want to look at your meta descriptions and make sure that they're compelling. Make sure you integrate keywords into those as well. Your descriptions can be a little bit longer than your title tags at 160 characters. And then across your pages, you also have things like H1s and H2s. Those are ways that you structure your content to make it easy to understand, easy to follow. And then other things like your keyword consistency and also the length of your content make a difference as well. So those are some pointers for how to fix if you're observing low rankings, poor click-through rates, or even low engagement rates across your website. The next way to tell if your SEO is working is to check your domain authority and the quality of the backlinks to your website. Now, domain authority is simply a signal to Google or Bing or those other search engines, which tells them that your business is a leader in your industry and that they should send traffic and potential customers your way. And so if you observe low domain authority, or you have very few quality backlinks, you'll want to check your off-page SEO. Okay. So now with this area of SEO, it's about actions you take outside of your website that help you show up better in those search results. And so this is how you can check if you've got a problem in this area. To diagnose it, again, if you've run your SEO audit report, hopefully you've got it in your open right now. If you scroll down, you'll see the links section. And in this section, it gives you a score for your domain strength, your page strength. It's telling you how many backlinks are coming back to your website, and then how many domains refer people to your website as well. So all of these are really good indicators. And essentially with this audit, you can check just about all of these things that are listed here in one go. So a good resource there. And then also, here's an article that you can click through once you receive the slides in your inbox. And this is a blog that's on our website that'll teach you what backlinks are and how you can get more of them for your business. So helpful resource. Just go ahead and look into that at your leisure. Now, if your score is low in this particular area, some quick fixes or some ways to fix it will be to try to earn those high quality backlinks from reputable sites. So you'll want to try to look and see if they're in the industry directories that your business could be listed in, and ask them to link to your website. You may want to try to find out where your brand is mentioned across the internet and ask people to link your business name back to your website. So when people click on your business name from their site, it comes back to yours. You can use tools like Google Search Console or Ahrefs to identify toxic backlinks. So these are backlinks that aren't good. You don't want everyone linking back to your website. You want to make sure that the people that are linking back to your website also have good quality websites themselves, because Google will take that as an indicator as to the quality of your website. So Google Search Console and Ahrefs are good tools to use to see which backlinks are perhaps toxic. Next, you'll want to analyze the backlinks that are pointing towards your competitor websites. And then you want to try to target those same high authority websites and ask them to link to your business. And then finally, you want to promote your business, the content on your website. You want to promote that on social media. You want to collaborate with influencers, and you may even want to submit guest blogs and guest articles that you write to other relevant industry blogs, because when you do all of that, that's going to drive external traffic. That's going to drive new traffic to your website, as well as help Google know that your business is an authority. If you want to learn a little bit more, there's a good resources webinar. It's on demand. Again, you can click it and watch it today if you want. And in it, we talk about how businesses can conduct a competitor analysis and then make sure they're leveraging their expertise to stand out, especially in your content. And so it's a good session that I highly recommend. And the third category or way you could know if your SEO is working or not is by looking at your website speed. So you probably didn't know that, if your website takes forever to load or it shows up horribly on mobile devices, that's not just a website issue. It's also an SEO issue. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's also an SEO issue. In fact, these are issues or aspects of something called the technical SEO. We talked about that as a pillar. And when you talk about technical SEO, you start to talk about the actual nuts and the bolts behind the website. And so I'll click here and you'll see how you can actually check to see if this is going to be a problem for your business. I mean, you can start by checking manually. This is simply opening your website across different devices like your phone or your desktop computer or your laptop, and just see how across those devices, how quickly your website loads. Ask customers if they experience slow loading times or difficulties using your site. Everyone has different internet providers, so it may show up for you at your home or at your business, but your customers might have a different experience. And you may just want to listen as well to see if your customers are complaining about different features of your website, because that can also point to different issues. Always kind of compare yourself to your competitors to see how you're comparing, how your website is comparing to theirs in terms of speed and responsiveness. And if yours is significantly slower or harder to use, it's a red flag. If yours is about the same to theirs and it's industry average, then maybe a yellow flag or a green flag. So not too much to worry there. And then over here are the screenshots of the areas of your LOCALiQ audit that complement uh, how to check these particular aspects. So you'll see your usability score. Again, it's on A to F scale. And then it'll also show you the page speed. So for this particular website that did this audit, their website is loading at about 0 seconds. So that's really good. Typically, you want your website to load in less than 3 seconds because people have short attention spans. If it takes longer than 3 seconds, they're going to use their thumb and click off of off of your website, and go on to something else. So here are just some quick tips on how to fix these technical SEO type challenges. And this can be a really easy one. Don't just take large pictures and images from your cameras or the internet and put them onto your website. You want to make sure that you resize those image files, because when you make them smaller, it'll take less time for them to load when a visitor is coming to your website, and that'll help your website speed score there. You want to make sure that your text is readable across all devices. You want to make sure that you use a large enough font so that people don't have to like zoom in or zoom out to read the text on your website. You want to try to make sure that you have mobile-friendly navigation menus, and then that you also have a responsive design, meaning when people go to your website, whether they're on their mobile device or they're on their laptop or iPad, uh, your website resizes itself and gives them a great experience. So all of those things contribute to the technical SEO, which ultimately impacts just how business is coming through your website in general. Another way to tell if your SEO is working is to look at your web traffic. And if it seems like the wrong people are coming to your website or they aren't converting, uh, that could be a sign that your SEO is not doing what it needs to do. And so a way to check that when it comes to this observation is you'll want to check your content as well as your on-page SEO strategy. Now, a big part of the content strategy is keyword research. And we talked a little bit about that earlier. And when you do the keyword research, that's when you're going to find out what terms, what words are people using, typing into Google and Bing to find the solution to their pain point, the solution to their problem, or to find your product. And chances are, you've probably been in your business for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and you probably know the vocabulary, the jargon that goes along with your particular business. But chances are your customers have no idea that they should actually call this gadget by this word. And so what they're going to do is they're going to try to describe their problem. They're going to try to describe the product or service that they're looking for the best way that they know how, using the words that they know. And so what you want to do is to find out, you want to discover what those words are, what those phrases are, and you want to try to incorporate them into your content strategy. Now, ways that you can check to kind of know whether or not this is going to be a problem for you is you can analyze the quality of your traffic. A good tool to use here is Google Analytics. And when you log into Google Analytics, you can check to see if visitors are spending time on pages or if they're quickly leaving. That's called your bounce rate. You can check like the SEO Audit report. You can check things like SEMrush and Google Search Console because those tools will help you understand if your keywords are not relevant to what users are actually searching for. And then a little bit lower down the funnel, the conversion rates. You can see maybe you've got a lot of traffic on your homepage, a lot of traffic on your products page, but then nobody closes at your shopping cart. You see there's a huge drop-off rate. So if you notice those things, all of those things can be indicators to tell you that you probably need to focus in on the content aspect of your SEO strategy. Once you make those observations, here are a few quick ways to, I say quick, but it may not be quick. Here are a few ways to try to do better in that space. Again, Google has a lot of tools. They have a tool called the Keyword Planner, and that will help you find keywords that better match the search terms your audience is using. And so you want to find a good balance of keywords that have good search value, meaning a lot of people use those terms to find your products. But then you also want to make sure you're looking at how competitive it is, right? Because if you're looking for if you're trying to compete for the keyword dentist near me, and you've got a lot of dentists in your particular area that you're competing with, you're probably going to have to pay more to show up for that particular keyword. And so when you're looking for keywords, you want to look for keywords that may not have a lot of competition, but can still generate business for or opportunity for your business. Because the more competition, the more you're going to have to pay in terms of pay per click type cost to show up. And so you want to look at which keywords are worth you paying for and which keywords should you incorporate into your SEO strategy so that you can try to come up for those keywords and not have to pay per click. So that's like the biggest reason for doing keyword research as it relates to your SEO strategy. And then very quickly, I'll just go through these. You definitely want to analyze the keywords that your competitors are using. And use that information to inform your strategy. And sometimes when you're doing this research, you'll find that some of your competitors, even if they're large competitors, they may not be going after a particular keyword, especially if you're a local business. And so sometimes big companies are going after very generic and general keywords. But if you're looking for a dentist in Huntington, then you have more opportunity to show up because you've added in that specific geolocation as a keyword that you're targeting. So it's small things like that. I know that may be a little bit technical, but there's value in looking at what your competition is doing. And then you want to make sure that the keywords that you're going after match the intent for the customer as well as you. And so if you're trying to educate your customers, you want to make sure that you're targeting keywords that indicate that this person is doing research. But if your business is trying to sell a product, sell a service, then you want to make sure that you're attracting people who are in the buying stage right now and not just someone who is in the research phase of their time on Google or on the internet right now, because it really makes a difference. And then once you get them to your website, it's things like CTAs and internal linking that will help guide and navigate the person from point A to point B, and then to make sure that they actually complete the final task that you want them to do, which may be making that purchase or signing up to your newsletter or RSVPing for your open day that your school may be having. And so it's the CTAs and your internal linking that makes a big difference there. I know I said a lot there, but here are some resources that you can go into a little bit more once you receive the slides. We've got a blog here about how to conduct effective keyword research. Once you start writing content, we've got a blog that talks about using a pillar strategy. And then once you have all those things, we have a webinar that's available on demand that talks about how you can put all those things together to in a way that'll help your SEO and then also generate leads for your business. So I think you'll find that helpful. The final way to tell if your SEO is working or not is to is if you're getting warnings that maybe your website is not secure, or pages are missing from the search results, or you get some other types of alerts. And so to check this, sometimes you'll find out that this is happening yourself, but more often it's your customers that experience this, and it impacts your business's bottom line, because maybe the reason why they aren't completing that purchase or signing up for whatever it is that you're offering is because when they get to that landing page, they get a huge pop-up or warning that says that your website is not secure. And so that can be a major red flag. So there are other ways to diagnose this as well. Maybe you've gone to Google, you've gone to Bing, and you're trying to search for one of your pages on your website to see if it shows up, but it doesn't show up, even though it's live. And so pages not showing up in search results can be an alert, something that you need to look at. Or if you have high bounce rates where visitors are quickly leaving your website, maybe it's because your pages are loading too slowly, or maybe the content on your page doesn't load fully. I know we all probably have gone to a website where there's supposed to be an image here, but it doesn't show up. And so those are all things that fall under this category. And over here, as you scroll down your SEO audit report, you'll see this where it'll let you know whether or not your website has SSL, if it's secure, if you have things like the robots or site maps that help inform the search engine what's on your website or not. And then sometimes we talked about slow loading pages with broken elements. Sometimes our websites are like really complicated, right? Because we've put in all these different features. And sometimes when we put in all these different features and elements on our website, we think it's fun, we think it's cool, but sometimes they use things called iframes, which can be very bad if you're trying to show up in search engines without going into depth. And so again, in the SEO audit, you'll find out whether or not you get a green check in this category or a red X. And of course, you want to be in that green check zone. And then very quickly, let me give this to you, some ways to fix these things if it's happening to you. If you're getting that not secure warning, you'll want to install what is called an SSL certificate. This is something that your web hosting provider can set up for your website. You may notice this is when you go to websites and you look in the web browser, it may say HTTP or it may say HTTPS. And what you want is it to say HTTPS, because that means the website is secure. And so if you don't have that on your website, then that's one of the things that you definitely should do. Look for those missing pages. If you have those missing pages, these are pages that aren't coming up on Google. It's probably because Google doesn't really know that that page exists. And so putting things like a sitemap on your website can help Google understand that it's a page that should show up for users. And we've got a blog on our website that talks about sitemaps and other schema markups that you can incorporate onto your website to help in this area if you want to drill down into that. And then a few other quick ones. If your website is loading slowly, you want to try to enable caching plugins, and these plugins will store content um, locally within the browser of the user, so that way when they come back to your website, it loads even quicker than it did the first time. So that's one way you can do it. And then for things like security alerts that don't fall under the category that I mentioned, there are plugins that can help with just about all the different aspects of website security that there are to help you prevent attacks and things of that nature. So those are some ways that you can fix um, these aspects of technical SEO if you're experiencing it. All right. So very quickly, let me just do a very quick recap of uh, different ways that you can tell if your SEO is working or not, and then some quick things that you can fix. So if you are getting low rankings, poor click-through rates, or engagement rates, this is a problem because your website is just not optimized for search intent, or it's not compelling enough to attract to attract clicks. And so one thing that you can do here is to focus in on your meta titles, the descriptions, and you can update your content for relevancy. If you're experiencing low domain authority or you have very few quality backlinks, that's a problem because it's indicating that your website lacks credibility, and um, it's hard to get the trust of the search engines, especially potential customers. And so what you want to do in this area is try to earn backlinks by guest posting on industry blogs or partnering with influencers to create content that's going to link back to your website. The third area and group that we talked about was that of slow website load times or poor mobile experience and usability user experiences. And so this is a problem because users will leave very quickly, and search engines will rank you lower if these things are happening. And so in this particular area, a quick fix will be to try to compress those images that are on your website, try to make them smaller, and you want to make sure that you have a mobile-friendly design for your website. Number 4 is irrelevant traffic, and this is when you're attracting the wrong audience to your website. And a lot of times this could be because of your keywords. It can be great if you're getting 1,000 visitors to your website a month, but it's not great if those 1,000 visitors per month have no interest in your product or service. And so this is that particular area where you can optimize your content for user intent and make sure that you have the best CTAs in place. And then finally, um, if you're getting not secure warnings popping up or other alerts popping up on your website, it could be because of security risk or other reasons that the internet is just not trusting your website for users to go to. And so in this particular area, you'll want to make sure that you install a SSL certificate, submit a sitemap to Google Search Console, so that way it can help fix crawl errors and help Google know which pages on your website should be crawled. So that, in a summary, is everything that we covered. Hopefully, again, just look in the chat for that link for how to generate the SEO audit for yourself. And I'll put that in the chat again. And we're going to move to Q&A in just a second here. So if you have any questions as I put this in the chat, feel free to put your questions there. We'll get those answered. And then just a quick survey. And this will be good here. All right. And then also while you're answering that, one more housekeeping thing to show is that we've got 3 more webinars coming up along the topics of SEO. And so if you haven't saved your seat, make sure that you save your seat, register for them. You can register for one, you can register for all of them. If you can't attend live, then you can still register and you'll get the webinar recording in your inbox. So I'll keep that up, and I'm going to move on to answer a few questions that have come through. We've got a few minutes left, so I'll answer a couple of questions that have come through. Okay, one of the questions that have come through our webinar today, when is SEO the best strategy to use? That's a really good question. SEO is best when you want long-term sustainable traffic and you also want brand authority. But SEO, it can take time to see results. And so paid search actually is better if you want immediate visibility and you're trying to generate some quick results, but it does require an ongoing budget. And so ideally, both really do work together, and you do want them to work together so that way you can have a balanced strategy. But I think a good example would be, for example, like if you are a home cleaning service and you want more customers, the SEO approach would be that, you know, you want to create a website that has pages like affordable home cleaning in whatever your city is. Or maybe you have helpful blog posts on your website, like the top tips for keeping your home clean. And then those things can get listed in Google. You might even want to get listed in Google Business. And so over time, when you do those things, your site will rank higher, and people searching for your cleaning services will find you naturally. That's the SEO approach. And then the paid search approach is, you know, you can run Google ads for the keyword same day home cleaning near me. And then right away, your ad shows up at the top, and people who are in urgent need of like cleaning services will start clicking and coming through to your website. So they have different approaches for, it depends on what the objective and priorities are for your business at this particular time. So good question. All right, another question is, let me just close that poll. Thank you very much for everyone that responded. Here's another question. Is SEO free? That's a very good question. Even though SEO does not have a direct cost per click like paid ads, it does require an investment. And so whether that's hiring help or creating content or improving your website, the key is balancing what you can afford while focusing on what will make like the biggest impact for your business. And know that all SEO providers are not created equal. And so it's important that you work with a provider that you can trust, a provider that offers like transparency. They inform you and they educate you about the work that they're going to be doing on your website, and they're providing you with reports every month or every few weeks. That's really important. And you want to find a partner that understands your business, that understands your customers, because that helps as well. So I hope that answers your question. All right, we're at time. I've got one last question. I'm just going to answer very quickly. This person says, once I've received my SEO audit, what's my next step? Well, once you have your SEO audit, I think the next best thing that a business should do is, try to fix the biggest problems first. You can do that. or you can try to make small, high impact changes. It depends on the type of resources that you have. But those big problems, you don't just want to like ignore them, because you might have to work on them in incremental type steps. And so when you look at the audit, look at the things that are hurting your website the most, like slow loading times, broken pages, and try to create a plan that's going to fix those. And then you want to also look at things that, small things like page titles, descriptions, and headings. Those are small things, but they can actually be really high impact and generate some shift for your business. So look at that. And then the third thing I would say, after you have done some movement in that space, is to be patient. SEO isn't like paid ads, but it's going to take time for you to see some of the results. But once it starts to generate the results typically are steady. They're typically long-term. And so you just want to keep track of your progress and adjust as needed. And then I think the final thing is just know that you don't have to go it alone. Contact our experts. They can walk you through, they support you and your business. And so you don't want to just pick up a service and then not talk to your partner for 6 months or a year. You should have that collaboration with them and make sure it's active. All right, so I think that is it for today's session. Again, I hope to see you all at some of our upcoming webinars. Thank you for taking the time to join with us today, and we really hope that you found this very helpful. We'll hope to see you on the next one. Bye.